This story begins a plain evening scrolling through Tinder and swiping right on people I found interesting and cute. Wannabe matches I got immediately started talking to me. This person was fairly good looking, and he seemed normal at first. He seemed to go to the same uni as I did. He was an engineering student, and I was a design student. And we had the same campus, but we hadn't met before. We were talking a lot that evening. I was bored, so of course I had time to talk to him. I found out he also went to the same gym as I did, which was the school gym at our campus. I was surprised I didn't recognise him since the gym was small and usually you start recognising people there. The next day, he messaged me and I didn't notice the message right away, so he had messaged me twice during 2 hours. I didn't think much of this at the time, but now I realise they were the first signs of him being a bit pushy. Well, you'll understand later on. I just thought that maybe he was a bit too excited to talk to me. The day was a bit busy for me, so I couldn't message him as actively as the day before. He seemed a bit bummed about that, but I thought everything was still fine. Some days went by, I suddenly got a message from him, complimenting my ass at the gym. First of all, I didn't see him at the gym, or maybe I didn't recognise him. Second, why the fuck would a few days without messaging and then message shit like that? And third, just what the fuck? Well, obviously I was a bit weirded out by his message and I didn't really know what to say. For him, my replies didn't seem good enough because I didn't like his message. He kept the weird messages going on and started saying inappropriate stuff like, maybe tomorrow you could squat and I could watch you. In my mind, this normal guy, air quotes, just suddenly turned into this weirdo and I wasn't sure what the behaviour was. I told him I don't appreciate his behaviour. His replies started getting more and more passive and aggressive. He just kept saying that he wanted to meet and was really pushy about it. I had enough and just deleted him as a match because I found him so weird. A year goes by, or I don't know, maybe even more than a year? I don't remember exactly, but I remember a moment when I got a random message on WhatsApp from an unknown number. It was a plain hello with some emojis. I replied to this person asking who he was. He said his name, but at first I didn't realise that this person was the same creepy guy from over a year ago on Tinder. I asked him where he got my number and he claimed that I had shared my number with him on Tinder. Like, what? I don't share my phone number that easily, so no way. I stopped replying to him because I'd also recognised from his profile picture and realised that this guy was the creep talking to me over a year ago. I screenshotted the conversation and the creep's photo to my friends and basically shared my feelings of how weirded out I was about him. Well, it went even creepier. One of my friends in a group conversation is a rape victim. She recognised this person. The creeper dude from Tinder was the one who raped her, and now he was talking to me. So in conclusion, my good friend's rapist searched my number, tried to lie about the way he got it, and was talking to me after being rejected a year ago. I was so creeped out by this that I told my father about this guy. I gave his number to my father and basically haven't heard from this creep ever again. I think my father told him to back off and I'm not sure how and in what way, but to be honest I don't care. I'm just glad a fucking creepy rapist isn't even trying to approach me anymore. I switched my gym after this incident and also happened to graduate, thank God. I'm not sure if I could recognise him on the street or in person at all. I'm just glad I never met him. This could have been a lot worse. Your next match could be a rapist. Story number 2. I should make it clear from the beginning, I've not always had the best taste in men. We'll get that out of the way now. After a split from my husband and being hit on by the worst of the worst, my friends and I thought it'd be funny for me to sign up for Tinder, as a social experiment of sorts. At least then I could control the men who talk to me, as well as provide my friends with hilarious screenshots. I will add, Tinder isn't all bad, as I met my fiancée on the app. You win some, you lose some. I met a man named Jason, who seemed intelligent, witty, and had a successful career. After talking for a while, I agreed to meet up with him for coffee. I hate coffee. He was attractive and seemed very attentive. It was a nice date and we made plans to meet up again for sushi. The next week we met for sushi, and after what I thought was a good date, he suggested we went back to his apartment to watch some documentaries. I'm a sucker for documentaries, and he did not seem like a serial killer, so I agreed. As we sat on his couch, he turned on an obscure documentary about some musician from the 50s, which I was fine with, but I noticed that he kept staring at me. Now, attention can be flattering, or it can be downright creepy. Unfortunately, his attentiveness fell under the latter category. After a few minutes of actively ignoring his staring, he, completely out of nowhere, said, "Can I taste you?" I've always been a fan of serial killer documentaries, and I was pretty sure this may have been one of Dahmer's pick lines. So I politely declined and noped the fuck out of her. At the time I was creeped out, but chalked it up to a good failed Tinder date story. Here's where things get weird. He soon asked me out on another date. Although in my mind I wanted to scream I would rather be waterboarded than spend more time with him, I politely explained that due to going through a divorce, it was just not good timing, and I wasn't truly ready to date anyone. We were not friends on social media, so I didn't think it was a huge deal. A month or so later, I met the man who I would eventually become engaged to, again via Tinder, and didn't give a second thought to Jason. After a few months, there was pictures of my now fiancée and I on Facebook and Instagram. Around this time, my fiancée, who I will call G, received a text message from a strange number claiming to be one of his female friends. It was a very strange message, as basically a head propositioned him to come have sex. He knew this was out of character for his friend, as he knew he was dating someone, so he immediately messaged his friend and asked if he had sent the messages. Of course they hadn't. I own my own house, so after about 6 months, G had moved in with me. One of his friends had fallen upon hard times, and we welcomed her to our house to stay until she was able to find an apartment. She began receiving messages on Instagram calling her an ugly troll, a slut, and making various other deprecating remarks. Around this time, we had noticed a white car had been sitting outside our house periodically. I live in a very rural area, and there's no parking on the street. About twice a week we would see this white vehicle, and at first I thought it may have been my ex-husband or someone that he knew. Again, it was not a good split. Maybe 8 months later, G received a message on Instagram telling him he would never be good enough for me. He was a terrible boyfriend, and that if he hurt me, this person would hurt him. He text messaged me from work, asking if I received any strange messages and let me know something kind of weird had happened. I let him know that I had not, and asked what was going on. He sent me screenshots of the messages, and I noticed that the person who had sent them was also following me on Instagram. I looked up at his profile, and the only people he had followed were men who commented on my photos, or females who followed G. Once I knew about all the messages received from both G and his friend, I started to panic about the white car that would watch the house. We literally live across the field from a cornfield. There is never any reason for someone to be sitting outside our house who we don't know. After all of this came to light, I couldn't think of who might have created a fake profile to bully anyone who I was involved with. I saw even the fake name was Jason. When he explained the strange text messages and his friends divulged the message she had received, I was still struggling to figure out who was doing this. I went all through my social media and Snapchat, and I found that Jason was following me. I'd never given him my last name, so I'm still not sure how he was able to find me. He was the only person who fit the situation, and the rude messages continued throughout the day. I knew that Jason worked as a tech developer and would have the know-how to create a fake phone number and seek out my information. On top of going through a nasty divorce, I also have 2 small children. As soon as G sent a message to Jason conveying that the police would not be happy with someone harassing him with 2 children, all messages and communication stopped. Seemingly normal Tinder date asked to take me on our second date. I did that when he asked my current friends and fiancé. Avoid Tinder, people. Story number 1. So, hey guys, I've been working this sub for like 2 years, and Thanks to the wonders of online dating, I finally have quite the story to share with you. I use Tinder pretty frequently, and it's usually cool, just meeting people, chilling, smoking with most of them. So I matched with this dude named Charlie, and he seems cool. He's really cute and he plays music, which is really appealing to me, as I also sing and play piano. We talked for a little while and I agreed to meet him at his house. Mistake number one. Why did I think it was a good idea to meet a stranger in their home? I don't drive, so I take an Uber over and it's a decent way away, so it's kinda pricey. When he buzzes me into the apartment complex, I got this really creepy vibe, but I shook it off as nerves. I go up to the 3rd floor, and he's standing at the door. Things are cool, we're chilling, we smoked a couple of bowls and we're watching a movie. So he makes a move on me and I go with it. We end up in the bed and we're obviously engaging in adult activities, let's say. When out of nowhere he wraps his hands around my neck, hard. Now, that's all fine and good with me, I mean, I can dig that in the right setting, but alone in a stranger's house when he didn't even check to see if it was cool is not one of those settings. So I literally can't breathe and I'm quite certain I'm turning blue at this point, and he's just relentless. Not only is he asphyxiating me, he's now yelling in my face, "Are you scared?" This kind of wild look in his eyes, and I'm like, fuck yes I'm scared, you were trying to kill me right now. I started to struggle and he was gripping even harder. I'm not even kidding you. I seriously thought I was going to die. By some miracle I wriggle out of his grasp and start screaming. He's yelling at me to calm down and I'm frantically trying to put on my clothes. He grabs my wrist as I'm trying to leave, and I use all my strength to pull away and slam the door. As it was closing, the charming fella bid me adieu with the words, "Fucking cunt." I get home and look in the mirror and I have hell bruises all on my neck. I tried to cover it with makeup but to no avail. I straight up looked like I was almost strangled to death. Then he texts me saying, "I think you need more than one dick." And I'm like, oh really? You want to bring a friend and kill me together? Anyways, I blocked him and reported him to Tinder. I wish I could have done more because I seriously think he would have killed me. I've been debating going to the police, but the bruises are gone and it's a he said she said thing, but I'm really starting to wonder if I should. Because the next girl might not be so lucky. As always guys, thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed the video. Looking for ideas on some more videos that we're going to be doing, so if you drop them in the comments. Also, my email address is in the description, so is my Twitter. If you want to either tweet me your story or email me a story, and you want it featured on my channel, let me know and I will do that. But yeah, just come up with some sort of categories you would like to listen to and let me know and I will put that together for you. I'll be back on Wednesday with another video.